with Jaden. We're back with some more Type 2 Lackey Grand Prix gameplay. We're on to the second round now, which the rounds are 2 weeks apart. I explained that in the previous video, but I had kind of the backlog, I guess, of round 1, as you know that the Type 1 Lackey Grand Prix was getting finished up, Lackey Grand Prix 21. And so we'll be going probably to like Lackey Grand Prix 22 gameplay next week, and then the rest of the Type 2 rounds, so rounds 3 and 4, will probably be after that, potentially somewhat mixed in there if I wanted to try to get them out before nationals or something. But I don't know exactly yet. That's still in the works, but for now, we've got some more Lackey Grand Prix gameplay or Type 2 gameplay, and I'm kind of excited about this deck, or I think that this deck is a pretty solid one. You can see I've got some Lightning Priest stuff going. Another quick disclaimer, I don't want to forget to mention this, but you can see I'm back in my natural habitat, I guess, back in the studio, so to speak, my basement, but and normal audio and whatever for the intro here. It's going to be kind of the reverse of last week, where last week I had the gameplay in or here, and I had the intro that was hotel version. This is going to be kind of the opposite, where it's going to be hotel gameplay and the intro here. So you're going to have to forgive a little bit of the audio weirdness. I'm going to try to figure out what I can as far as filtering out the background noise, but there was also just a little bit of funkiness from like a technical standpoint during the game. So like at some point I had to switch microphones from going from my headphones to, or I guess going from the camera, I think, to my headphones, which from Mitch's perspective, he was my opponent, he said that it actually sounded better, but I think that was because over Discord, there's already like some background noise filtering going on, and so like the background noise that was being picked up by my headphones was a little worse than the camera microphone. It was a bit of a learning process for me as far as what audio capabilities I have that are more portable than this microphone here. So that's something that hopefully I can clean up enough during the editing process here, but we'll see how it turns out. Just bear with it. You can just mute the video and watch the gameplay, and maybe turn on subtitles that don't exist, and you can just kind of imagine, though, make it up in your head, like, oh, this is probably what Jaden is saying here, but no. But no, it was good gameplay otherwise, and there was a part where we had some other technical issues, and so it just might be a little bit choppy, but the gameplay will all be there, I guess. So hopefully that's not too distracting or disruptive. But anyways, this deck is probably one that you've seen before if you are a viewer of Redemption content creators, because I did play this against Tim, a Type 2 game on his channel, Baboony Tim, and at least this offense, which is the kind of modernized Lightning Priest offense. I learned some things from that game against Tim that I needed to remember, I guess, or kind of realize, I guess, as far as the fact that Dutiful Priest does get negated by Holy of Holies because it's New Testament, and I think there was something else. I guess that was kind of the main thing, and but also, like, if I do want to run Holy of Holies, I do have to have ways for Rebuking Emissary to not be prevented and all that jazz, because the game was on Tim's channel. You didn't really have an intro like I normally do, so I will kind of explain the offense and what's going on, what the idea is here. This is based on the Type 2 deck I played first at Nationals back in 2018 or 19. I don't know. It was one of those years. And the idea there was to use Captive Priest to chain into Captive Priest and, to get all 4 of them out right away. And then you'd also get the Priest Ezra, who could return one of them, ban to it, capture it again, go get another priest from your deck, and then probably the goal, I guess, was end with Priest of Christ, which at that point I was actually just using the national promo one just to have fewer brigades, and because I didn't have anything to switch with, and it was just kind of more fun that way. These were classic times where you could use scroll cards and whatnot, and also where there wasn't a 4 activations rule. So after if I'm doing this all on turn 1, if my opponent blocks, I get to take a good dominant from my deck. That good dominant would be Valley of Dry Bones, and then you can play that, release all captured heroes, resurrect a hero from, it's probably not going to be anything to resurrect, but you release all the captive priests, you banish Valley of Dry Bones to add all 4 captive priests to battle, and you get to go get a bunch of your priests and set up just super fast. You've got a bunch of heroes, and then you can just set up your attacks. A lot of them do banding and that kind of stuff, and there were definitely a different set of priests that were pretty much all teal at that point, so none of these clay dudes. But you could do that all on turn 1. It was pretty solid. Tyler took that idea, adapted it, and made it even better, because there was a card that I pretty much completely just neglected in building the deck, which was Liberating Angel from Early Church, which says you can discard this card to release all captured heroes and add them to battle. I was like, oh, well, that seems pretty good, because now it's not just Valley of Dry Bones that can get all the captive priests into battle, but you can do it with a hero. And, it's kind of single use with Liberating Angel, I believe. Maybe I can just pull it up here and you can actually see what I'm talking about. Yeah, discard this hero to release all captured heroes and add them to battle. So, you could have ways to resurrect Liberating Angel. I guess Valley of Dry Bones could be one of those. But it would be single use. So the way that Tyler did it was he just had I think 3 of them in the reserve, and then could use Covenant with Abraham to pull them out and keep attacking. Maybe he had one in the main deck too. I don't know, but basically it was just a way to do your captive priests, all 4 captive priests every turn, and just continue to have 4 priests in battle, and you can set up a strong attack, particularly with cards like Jeremiah and Dutiful Priest. If you had both of them, you can toss the next and then also play first. Seems pretty good. Play those gifts and offerings, get them back with the tabernacle, all that jazz. So that was kind of the idea for Tyler's version of the deck. Fairly similar to mine, but just kind of better execution. And he played that either a year or 2 years after I think I first played mine. I think I played mine for 2 consecutive nationals, and then Tyler played it the year after with oh, this is better. Now we have the 4 activations rule, which kind of puts a damper on things, where it's even if you do get to Valley of Dry Bones, you do the whole Priest of Christ thing and get to Valley. If you play it on turn 1, you can't add. You can add captive priests to battle, but you can't use their abilities, because once you capture one and then capture the other, capture all 4 of them, you've used all 4 activations for captive priest for that turn. So you have to kind of adjust a little bit, figure out how to set it up basically to start doing it on turn 2. And at that point, or after the 4 activations rule, I was like, I don't know that this deck is really still there. It's not, it can't quite have the same punch, I guess, the same acceleration. By that point, your opponent has, gotten to set up a little bit, and he kind of knows what they're going up against and can kind of prepare for it. But it was actually Mike Lackey who used this, or a version of this deck, and I think Tyler kind of had been working on it and maybe had a version of it, and maybe worked with Mike on it. I don't know for sure, but I think that the idea was to go Captive Priests, and then to do Aaron on turn 1. Then you can take a Tabernacle artifact from deck, which is Book of the Covenant. And then by turn 2, you can use Book of the Covenant to take Covenant with Abraham from reserve and start getting either Liberating Angels or Rebuking Emissary, who is a new Israel's Inheritance card that immediately when I saw this card, my thought was, okay, Lightning Priest, like, how do we make that work? It's something that I hadn't really taken the time to figure out an actual good execution for it. But he says, if this card is discarded, you may discard an evil card, release any number of captured heroes, may ban to any number of them. So this is a Liberating Angel that, 1, is human, 2 is green, which fits a little bit better with priests, and 3 doesn't have to discard itself, which is great. You can just reuse it every single turn, do the same thing. So that works really well. Once you get it set up, then you just have to get to the Rebuking Emissary. I think Mike had a couple copies of Liberating Angel in his version, which in my building and kind of testing goldfishing or whatever, I was like, I don't know that we really even need any copies of Liberating Angel. Maybe don't even need more than 1 copy of the Rebuking Emissary. I think there's enough ways to consistently be able to get it out of reserve when you want it, particularly Book of the Covenant with Abraham, but also I included a copy of Remnant, and then we've got Crowd's Choice and some other stuff that can take good cards from reserve, probably somewhere, I don't know. But Rebuking Emissary coming out of reserve is kind of the main thing, and then we've got Eternal Covenant to get it from discard pile. So if your opponent is able to get rid of it, then you have a way to get it back. If they banish it, then you're kind of out of luck, I guess. And there is definitely an argument for having 1 copy in the main deck, especially because I run 2 copies of Angel of the Winds. But here we are. It's not something that I feel like you necessarily need to do every turn with this deck, but once you do it, a couple turns, you've set up quite a bit. You've gotten a lot of heroes and a lot of options. You can do some banding with Aaron and Zadok, so you don't necessarily need to use the Captive Priest to get a lot of heroes into battle. But I did like the idea that Mike was running there with the offerings, the new offerings from Israel's Rebellion, Burnt Offering, Grain Offering, Sin Offering, that you can play all of those off of Dutiful Priest as long as you have a clay hero in battle. So the idea is to kind of do the same sort of thing where you have Dutiful Priest and Jeremiah to toss the next, or you can also do it with Amariah, the High Priest, who says that OT clay enhancements used by him cannot be interrupted. So if you have both of them in battle, then as soon as your opponent blocks, you get to play an offering enhancement. If you play it on Amariah, it will be CBI, and you get to play one of these battle winners. Particularly Sin Offering is good because even if your opponent blocks with a Fight by the Numbers character or something, then you have something that's CBP and then also CBI. Plus you can just continue reusing it because it reserves itself and all that. So it's definitely solid. Like this is pretty fast. You have a couple priests that can draw with Eli, and then also Ahimelech who can draw when you're kind of cycling with Ahitub every turn. Part of the whole process, I guess, is you capture the 4 priests and one of them goes to Ahitub from your reserve, and then you can just put him right back in reserve, and that will count for Ahimelech, and then also protect lost souls from evil cards. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. There are more priests that you could include in this lineup, but this is what I kind of came to as the best crew. And also Eliezer is important for getting some of them back, and then also setting up kind of your kind of other key aspects of this offense where you're not necessarily going to be able to count on always being able to play first and toss the next. So sometimes you're going to have to rely on the protection and also your support artifacts here like Holy of Holies to negate their characters, Pot of Mana to restrict their banding capabilities, Ark of the Covenant to restrict their evil dominance, and then also punish them for removing your heroes, which, we've got ways to get our heroes back with the Eternal Covenant and whatnot. So, and also Eliezer. So that's not always the worst if they discard them, and then you can just start picking off a lot of their defense. And then Aaron's Staff also to make them CBN, which is particularly good if you have multiple priests in battle that all have different protect abilities. So Eli protecting from capture and shuffle, Ahateb protecting lost souls, Hamas protecting from withdraw and reserve, and Abiathar protecting from discard. You're covering a lot of bases there. You're not covering underdeck, so scattered is still good, but hopefully we can play around that with other means. Hopefully the play first and that kind of stuff will work well there. So I mentioned a couple of issues. Holy of Holies is going to be one of the stronger options for this offense, or to pair with the whole crew going in. But there are some issues with the Rebuking Emissary and Dutiful Priest. So we've got a couple options for those. Dutiful Priest is going to be a Tabernacle Priest, which means that if you have Aaron's Staff active, then your good Tabernacle Priest cannot be negated. A big part of this offense is you want to have 2 of your Tabernacle, or I guess Solomon's Temple artifacts active at the same time. I'm running Solomon's Temple in this deck, not the Tabernacle, because I just didn't really feel like I needed to be able to recur gifts and offerings, and Solomon's Temple has a little more flexibility, and it holds all the same artifacts here. So anyways, so if you have Aaron's Staff and Holy of Holies active, then your Dutiful Priest cannot be negated, so that works there. The other option is, well, if you want Holy of Holies active, you just don't use Dutiful Priest. You go with the other priests and kind of count on the protection and other means, I guess, of just kind of knowing what your opponent has and being able to play around it. You can also kind of affect their blocking options by using Elijah, who's in the reserve here, grabbing him out with Covenant with Abraham, and then banding to him with Zadok to choose the blocker. Elijah is CBP, so that works out pretty well. The other option here is the Rebuking Emissary, or the other option, I guess, that we have. The other thing we have to deal with is the Rebuking Emissary, which has different options, I guess, for making it work through Holy of Holies. Aaron's Staff doesn't work because it's not a priest, but I Am Sustainer does work, makes your single brigade OT heroes cannot be prevented in battle. Also doesn't work for Dutiful Priest because it's New Testament. So, but if I have Book of the Covenant active, maybe I used Eternal Covenant to get a hero back, or Covenant of Peace or something to go grab something. But then I can also have I Am Sustainer active to make the Rebuking Emissary CBP. The other option with this that I actually realized during the game with Tim, and then kind of modified the deck a little bit to play around this a little bit more, was the fact that if I have Solomon's Temple out and I have Holy of Holies active in Solomon's Temple, at the end of my opponent's turn, I can decide to underdeck Holy of Holies with Solomon's Temple. I can either take a Solomon's Temple Priest from deck, which is just Jeremiah or Amariah, and then I can, or I can negate an evil card if they have a fortress, or I guess an evil character. I mean, that's probably going to be negated by Holy of Holies, so it doesn't necessarily matter. But something that I can negate, and the negate on Solomon's Temple just continues as long as both it and the card stay within targetable range, I guess. So stay in play, or set aside for the other card, essentially. So I can underdeck Holy of Holies in their discard phase, which means that during my turn, I can reactivate Holy of Holies at some point. This Holy of Holies is back in my deck. I have one in my reserve, which means that if I make my attack with the Rebuking Emissary and do the Captive Priest thing, capture them all, if one of the heroes that I add to battle is Zadok, then I can activate the other Holy of Holies from my reserve. If another one of the heroes I add to battle is Aaron, then I can take the other Holy of Holies that I just underdecked from my deck. And then I can just repeat that every turn, as needed, to make the Rebuking Emissary go through and not necessarily have to have Book of the Covenant active. I could have Aaron's Staff active. I could have Ark of the Covenant active. Pot of Mana is a little bit trickier to have active while you're trying to pull all of this off, but it's in reserve here because I can activate it with Zadok, and definitely can help in certain circumstances, as you will see in this game. It will even come up as just a good flexible option to have here. That's something that I realized with this reserve, is that I wanted to have multiple options available for Zadok, because that's one of the stronger abilities that I can activate during battle that can actually affect the battle before they even block. So the protection and that kind of stuff is nice on these other priests, but being able to have the flexibility here of what to activate with Zadok is quite nice. I mean, it's kind of like playing an enhancement from your reserve on a hero ability. Like, that's strong. You've got that flexibility to choose from these options, and we don't really have ways to put them back in reserve, but Zadok can also activate them from artifact pile, so that also works out well, especially when you have a few different artifacts that are all great to have active. I find myself wanting to have like Aaron's Staff, Book of the Covenant, and Holy of Holies active a lot of the time, and you can't always do that, unfortunately. But you can do them all in the same turn if you time it right, and yeah, it's can get a little messy, but because of the artifact rule, where you can't activate an artifact that has been activated or deactivated by any means in the same turn, then you do have to get a little bit tricky with Solomon's Temple, which I think is kind of cool, that you can do that with 2 copies of the same artifact. Okay. So I think that's mostly what I wanted to mention about the offense here. Lord of Armies is one that could probably be swapped out, but it's kind of cool because you can bring in Eli, you can bring in Ahatub, you can bring in a Himelech, and a Abiathar. I think those are the only First Samuel options that I have, but bringing in those 4 is pretty good. Ahatub can go to any of the other Tabernacle Priests, so I can bring in Zadok and Aaron and Ahamaz and them, but it could easily be a different dominant if I were to switch things around a little bit. I could take out, a neutral card, put in Chronicles of the Kings. That would seem pretty good, and then maybe put the extra copy of Rebuking Emissary in there. That's probably better, but I just wanted to try out Lord of Armies in this slot. I mean, it's kind of like a Valley Light a little bit in this offense, especially when you can, you're expecting to have pretty much any hero at your disposal after turn 2 or 3 of the game. So that is kind of the offensive game plan here. And then the defense was just about finding a defense that worked well with the offense. So basically that can work through Holy of Holies is the main thing. I just decided to go with like Demon Thieves because Prince is just good, and Thieves have a lot of CBN and CBP stuff. I mean, I guess mostly just like CBN stuff that works well. Like Plunders is the main character that doesn't really work well through Holy of Holies, but it's still good enough that I figured 1 copy would be good for when Holy of Holies is not around. But otherwise, Temple Thieves, Highwayman, Egyptian Rebel, these are all good. It cannot be negated through, or, by Holy of Holies, or by anything. The Thief is, I guess, another one kind of in the same boat as Plunderers, where it does get negated, but you just kind of play around it when you need to. Malachite Slave, similar, but I am playing Murderous Command here, so that's why Malachite Slave is in here. That's why Egyptian Rebel is in here. Simon the Magician is kind of the main attraction here, I guess, where he makes everything work through Holy of Holies. So if you use Simon the Magician, play something like Ambush to band in, Plunderers, and you could get to the Thief by either Plunderers or by Judas. Then your NT Evil cards, so that's all NT Evil cards, cannot be negated. Some of the things that are cool with this, I mean, I think the big one you kind of already know from the Type 1 deck that I played a few weeks ago now, where with like the Darkness and the Colossi offense and stuff, where I was using Simon and Prince, is that if you use Simon, play a card that can ban to Prince, or you can add Prince to battle, then you can make Prince CBN. So we've got a couple copies of Gates of Hell. We've got copies of Ambush with Judas, who can be the intermediary or intermediate evil character, and also Kings of the Earth that can be the intermediate character there. We've got Egyptian Rebel and Amalekite Slave, who can both get added with Murderous Command. That can go to Kings of the Earth, who can ban to Prince of the Air, and I guess they both also go to Judas, bans to Prince. And yeah, Ambush. Let's see, which one was I missing? Ambush, Murderous Command, Gates of Hell, and Divide and Unify, which felt like just kind of fit well because I'm playing a mostly clay offense and Crimson defense here. So you can play Divide and Unify and get your opponent's ban abilities. Maybe they're playing low number of brigades and they ban in a lot of heroes, like like an Angel's offense or something. You can negate their ban abilities and then ban to Prince of the Air to negate the heroes that are left, or to underdeck the heroes that are left. Another cool thing with Prince of the Air and Simon is that Simon's modifier here also would apply to fortresses that are played while his ability is active. So if you use Simon to play Ambush, or you bring in the Highwayman, you bring in Temple Thieves, you bring in Judas to Prince of the Air, and then you can play any of these fortresses and make them CBN while they remain in play. So that's pretty good, and something that can kind of catch your opponent off guard too. So I thought that was pretty cool, something to keep in mind. Also, Simon to Red Dragon, that was kind of the OG option. If like Simon playing like Partners with Demons, or I don't know, I don't remember seeing Divide and Unify much, but just ways to ban to demons. Getting to Red Dragon was kind of the old school way to go, but now Prince is just a lot better, a lot more difficult to interact with once you make him CBN. So there's kind of all that. There's some of the normal thief stuff with 4 copies of Purloin, which is just a silly strong star ability to have 4 copies of in any deck, and a couple of other good options to work with Simon. CBN Hypocrisy is good to just take out everything, and then Hurling Insults with that Interrupt and Underdeck that also works on Simon, but it's still just good flexible CBP on Highwayman, and Ambush is kind of the same sort of thing. CBN on the Thieves, and works great on Simon as well. So the defense in the reserve is kind of built around that as well. 7 Suns to get Prince back. Judean Mediums as a deceiver target to just work well with Prince. And Dragon's Wrath to clear everything up if things get out of hand and we need to kind of hit the reset button. So it's kind of an interesting reserve. It's not very often that you see a 5/5/5 reserve, from me at least, but there were 5 neutral cards that I wanted with these artifacts, and I was able to trim down some of the cards in the some of the good and evil cards in the reserve here. And that did open up space here for the Babylon the Harlot as well. So that's another option to get to Prince, and also a way to make Kings of the Earth CBN. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then I can come out of reserve with Covenant with Abraham once I get Rebuking Emissary. I can get Elijah. I can even get Repentant Thief, which is pretty cool with Covenant with Abraham. And then also Babylon is an option here. I guess we'll talk about the Lost Souls a little bit. Part of the Lost Soul package here was based around the fact that I'm running a couple copies of Prince of the Air and expecting to use him fairly often. So the ones like Disoriented and Remnant are great for underdecking and then pulling back out with Gates of Hell with kind of the right timing that you want to either negate something or take something. And the rest of them were just kind of the best of the best. You got Distress to turn off some of their stuff, especially like negate neutrals cards if you get distressed before their negate neutrals come down, so that way they're not stopping your artifacts before you get a Leaser out. Galileans to help set up the defense, especially with just getting Prince, because that can be kind of the main holdup. Humble is just good, Lawless is good, Prosperity is good, Dull is kind of along there with Galileans of trying to just help get things set up. So that is pretty much everything I think to mention about the deck. As always, if you guys have any questions about the deck, I don't know how often I mention this, probably not enough, but you can put questions about the deck and comments about it in the description, in the comment section down there, and I will interact with them usually within a few days. So if I don't get back to you, and you can always reach out on like Discord and that kind of stuff too. But the comments specific to this deck or specific to this game are great in the comment section, because then other players who are watching or using the video as a reference can see those and be informed from them as well. So that is the deck. We're going to be playing this round, as I mentioned before, against Mitch Stewart, or mitchrobstew as he's known on the Discord. He brought a really cool deck. He started playing out cards in his offense, and I was like, wait, what offense are you playing here? Like, he's going a couple different directions, but it's actually a pretty cool blend of Purple Warriors and some Joshua stuff to get some speed, but also do a lot of kind of the deck attack. Like, he's trying to attack your defensive resources, particularly any CBP or CBN. I mean, mostly CBP, because he's got some, like the cross and that kind of thing to deal with CBN stuff, but mostly CBP and CBN enhancements, so that he can come in with a big ban, negate enhancements, negate characters, and then just, be, set up with this strong attack. It's not the best offense to be running against a deck that is playing Simon the Magician. So, you might be hearing that and thinking like he's in a little bit of trouble, and you might be right about that. We'll see as we get into the game, but it's definitely a cool offense. He shared the list with me now, and I've kind of been looking at it, and we were talking about it a little bit, and it's definitely cool. I've got some ideas for how to maybe flesh that out a little bit, and I had some questions for him as well, as far as like some of the choices that he had made, and yeah, there were some cool stuff with that offense in particular. The defense was kind of straightforward brown defense, which is one that this offense can struggle with a little bit, because it does have some good CBN options, and options for multiple copies of them, such as Haven's Plot and Reap the Whirlwind. So yeah, definitely can make things a little bit tricky if your goal is just go in and try to negate their stuff. So, made for an interesting game. We're going to go ahead and get into it after we quickly talk about our sponsors over here at Your Turn Games. We are happy to be supported by Your Turn Games, and they've got their pre-orders set up for times to come. The new set that's going to be released at Nationals. And if you need to pick up anything for Nationals in particular, or any of the big tournaments you have coming up, this is the place to do it. And he's always pretty prompt with shipping out orders and making sure that you get what you need. So check them out if you are in need of anything. And speaking of Nationals, I do just want to highlight quickly, there's been a countdown timer added to Land of Redemption, which I think is pretty sweet. We are down to 1 month, 12 days, 0 hours, 45 minutes, and 46, 45, 44, 43, okay, seconds until Nationals, which, sometimes you might just want to sit here and watch this countdown. Some of you are maybe doing the math backwards of like, wait, how early in the morning or late at night is Jaden recording this? And the answer is too late. So, don't do that. But anyways, this is pretty cool. I want to, I'm hoping it's just one of many things that are gonna add some hype to Nationals as we get down to it, because being less than a month and a half away, I know I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really great time. It seems like there's going to be a pretty great turnout. As of today, there were like 50 pre-registered, which may not sound like a lot, but for a month and a half before Nationals, I feel like that's actually not that bad. Like, I'd expect that hopefully we can at least double that and get people those Baboony Tim blister pack tokens, and just get people and fellowshipping and hanging out together at Nationals. I think it's going to be a great time. So if you want more information about Nationals, you can head on over to Land of Redemption. Is probably the quickest way to get that information. And then he's got a link here to the Nationals kind of landing page, I guess, or more information about it. So yeah, if you are interested in coming, it's down in Rogers, Arkansas. I'm planning to be there. Lots of other cool people are planning to be there. It's going to be a great time of playing Redemption, but also just having fun with like-minded fellow players. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. Hopefully you are as well. But in the meantime, hopefully we can satiate your competitive desire with some fun Type 2. I know not all of you are into that, and you can let me know if like you're like, come on, like this Type 2 content isn't for me. But I like to have a little bit of a variety and a little bit of exposure to what is Type 2, and hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. It's a little more gameplay, and I think there's more strategy and more fun. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the game with Mitch.
All right, let's go on. Let's do it. And I rolled a mighty 1.
I rolled a mighty 1 as well.
Nice. Well, I got a 5 this time, cool. So.
Yeah.
And I got a 6. Nice.
Let's see. I think I'll go first. I have no stars. Or wait. Actually, I do have 1.
Right.
I missed it. Amazing Faith.
Sure.
I'll just go, I think, from my own deck.
Okay. Orphans. Alright, no stars on my end.
Okay. And then my Lost Souls don't do anything extra.
Yep.
Either, so.
Take us away.
Awesome. Alright, let's go. Crowd's Choice is good.
Alright.
Yeah,
guess it's a good sign you didn't start out with what you needed. You gotta search for it.
Yeah, yep. Let's go. Grab Joshua.
Seems good. That's not a card I expected to see after searching for Joshua.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a hybrid. We'll see how it goes. I get to go to battle?
Yep.
Alright. Go with Armor Bearer. For Laser Sword, I'll choose the second to discard a evil enhancement from a deck.
Yep.
Interesting. Man.
Get those evil cards out of there. We don't need those.
Yeah. No one does. Okay, I literally just saw CVP1. I'll just get a Hypocrisy.
Sure.
And then I will ban to Joshua, and I'll search my deck for Joshua Hero.
There he is. All right.
Yeah, that's my rescue.
I get 2 Adulterers.
Yep.
All right. Now I gotta figure out what cards I want here. I've got an Amazing Faith. Don't like. Let's do. Let's just grab the Deceiver. And let's do Condemned Thief.
Yep.
And we'll go to block. That's good with you?
Yep, good to block.
Let's do the deceiver.
Okay.
I didn't really need to. Could have just searched for the highwayman, but whatever. I get to draw 3.
Yep.
More souls. Then I will ban to Condemned Thief, and we'll take a peek at your hand here.
Yep.
Alright, that's what I wanted to see. Yes, do I care about that? Let's actually just take the mask.
Okay.
Alright, my initiative.
Yeah, your initiative.
Sweet. I'll play wages. Go grab an evil card with the discard ability. Let's do like probably that one. Yeah, let's do shield.
Okay.
And then I'm going to discard Joshua.
Okay.
And I think I did my math right here. I believe now winning. Yeah.
Okay.
12, 11.
Yep. Good to proceed to battle resolution.
Good with me.
Great. And I will pass to you.
Alright. Draw 3. Of course. There it is, the remnant. Good old round 1 remnant.
Yeah. Always.
Alright. Well, I guess I'll get a star that I'll do before that. We'll go ahead and hit your top card. Guess that's one way to soul gem.
Yeah.
Alright. Go to prep phase. We'll put down Sheol. Put down face down artifact. Let's put down Eli. And put down Dutiful Priest as a Tabernacle Priest. And then is there a reason to do that or that? Let's do. Yeah, I guess so. I'll do. Look at the Covenant. I'll go to deck for a Covenant. Should be a Covenant of Peace.
Okay.
And go ahead and activate that to reserve. Yeah, what do you play? Yeah. Reserve Green Offering to go get this guy. Where's he? Himalek.
Okay.
And we'll put him in play. And sure, we'll play a Delivered as my territory class for turn. Let's do Holy of Holies. And I will. Yeah, I'll go to battle if that's good with you.
Yeah. Yep. That's good with me.
Sweet. We'll do Captive Priest. Capture him to you.
Okay.
Another one. And another one. And another one. So I'll be for you. And we'll do this guy. Hit protect lossless mule cards. Reserve him to go get. So we Tabernacle Priest. Go to reserve yet. So yeah, let's just do. I guess I have most of the artifacts I want to search for. Yeah, so let's just do Zadok. And I will not activate Tabernacle Artifact, but I will ban to. I guess I don't want to ban to Eli, huh? So I'll just draw. Let's ban to. I'll just not draw. I'll ban to Eli, not draw. And then I get to draw one from Himalek because I reserved an OTK card.
Yep.
Alright, and that is my rescue attempt.
Awesome. Good to block?
Yep.
Alright.
He's negated by Holy Folies.
Would humble.
Oh, that's right, yeah. You have Humble too. Okay, cool. That works. Good old Haven. Alright. It is shield, or has 2 shield triggers. So let's underdeck my Remnant, and I will underdeck your. Or actually, no, you got Orphans, never mind. Can't do that. Oh, and I guess Hitab actually protects lost souls too.
Oh, I didn't realize you did it from. Oh, yeah.
Alright, well, in that case, I was counting on a non-CBN Haven's plot, so I think I'm going to have to just play Grapes here.
Yep. Yep, that makes sense.
So, shuffle those. And I guess I will come on in with. Should do that. That would be silly. Come on in with the Himalek. And can't take from reserve. So.
Okay. Let's see. Let's make you play something. Yeah, I think I'll just make you play something.
Alright. Yeah, I would get so many shield triggers because Wives is a mandatory search too.
Yeah.
So the orphans.
Yeah.
Let's do Burnt Offering to underdeck Wives.
Yep. I suppose I can.
Actually,
draw 3 and just get underdeck still.
Hold on, I just realized. So Heyman should have negated a Himalek. So actually, my draw 1 should have gone back. Which was Burnt Offering. So actually, that should be back on top of my, or that should be shuffled in. Okay, so yeah.
So you're Nish or
Yeah, I will. I guess I'll pass.
do you wanna change your SQ?
No,
Like
no, I didn't
your
really have a
replacement?
better
Have no
option.
rock.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
sounds good.
I think playing grapes there was still the right play. So
Yeah, I think so. Getting rid of the Heyman sounds good. I'll go to. Are you good to go to battle resolution then?
yeah, yeah. If you're good to pass, I'll
Okay.
pass.
Yep, I'll pass.
Cool.
I forget. Is that a counter on foreign wise? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was my plan. Just get foreign wives to a 7/7.
Yeah, so you can just
So
get initiative, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with all that, I feel like that was a lot of build-up in that turn, just for kind of a disappointing battle phase there. But I will pass a turn.
Good. Draw 3. No stars. Um, give you hopper. Hmm. I think I'm just gonna have to pass it back to you.
Oh, don't want to come in with captain. All right. So one good deed deserves another. There's a hopper for you.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Let's go ahead and go to prep here. We'll deactivate Holy of Holies and flip up the book again. I will take Covenant with Abraham from my reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll activate that to take the Rebuking Emissary.
Nice.
And then I guess we do. No, yeah, we'll just do it like that. And then I will go to battle if that's good with you.
Yeah, good with me.
Alright. Let's do negating characters here. Yeah. Alright. Rebuking Emissary. We're going to release all of these dudes. Ban them into battle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And resolve them one by one here. I guess one of them is going to go to reserve for this guy. And then he's going to go back to reserve for. Let's do. That one has to be a tower type priest, so let's just do BFR. Protect from those discard abilities. And then we'll do. Jeremiah with one of them. And we'll do. I guess I really want to draw too much. Let's do Eliezer with one of them. And then Zadok. Alright. So Abiathar, take an OG Clay enhancement from reserve. We'll take Great Offering. And then Jeremiah will take a peek at your hand.
Yep.
See if you found a way to another Haman. Oh, great.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky there, honestly.
Alright. That'll be good. Mask. Okay. And then toss the next. And then Eliezer, search for House of Eliezer Priests, which I believe. I just forget which ones are which. I think Amariah is House of Eliezer. I'll double check that in a second here. But we'll grab him for now, and then Zadok. Do I want to activate one from reserve? Yeah, I guess we'll. If this is the way it's going to be, we'll at least make it more painful for you. Activate Arcane Covenant.
Yeah.
And then Bando Tabernacle Priest, which will be Dutiful Priest. And then I think that will. Yeah, that'll be all my abilities. I'm going to verify. Oh, let's see. Let's do this first. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this either way. So I'm going to play a good 3 woes to. Actually, no. Let's make it evil. Do an evil 3 woes and get your orphans.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Or wait. Hot tub is protecting lost souls anyway. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You are good to block.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check the House of Eliezer and priests here.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll block in Haman. I'll search for.
Okay. Yeah. Memorize House of Eliezer. So we're good there. Okay, so negating characters, which puts back Grain Offering into reserve. Puts back the card that I forgot to draw with the Himmelech. And that is it.
All OT freeze. Yeah, Jeremiah's one too. Okay. They're just gonna banish it to target the 2 evil characters in territory first.
Alright. Oh yeah, it's only up to 3. Okay. Yep.
We're gonna check if it's still mine-ish.
Yep, go for it.
Alright, let's go Haman's Boasting. Take a Evil Fortress. Grab good old shield.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll draw 3. Give you a token. And I'll play Mask of Arrogance. This isn't gonna win me the battle, but just 3 makes sense. Because I'm gonna get killed by Ark.
Yeah.
Jeremiah probably.
Alright.
Abiathar probably makes sense too, and then probably maybe Eliezer probably makes sense too.
Alright.
And then
Where's an Aaron staff? I need to make a Abiathar CBN.
yeah.
Okay, so plot is banished, and then I get
Yep.
3 arc triggers.
Yep.
So I'll just snipe Haman and Wives.
Yep. Yeah, let me count up the numbers in battle. Yeah, that won't be enough to get me. Which soul would you like?
Let's get that
Seem humble.
pesky orphans off the.
Or orphans.
Oh, I guess actually, I can negate orphans with woes. I can't negate humble. Let's do humble. He talked me into it.
Yep. So I'll surrender. I'll surrender a soul.
All right. Well, it was a costly battle, but we did it, boys. I will put down. Let's put down Amariah, and I will pass turn.
Draw 3. No stars. No upkeep triggers.
You just do not like my shield, huh?
Let's go. Buckler. Let's go to deck. Abishai. Okay. Oops.
The boys are coming out.
Stone carriers. Another spear. And good to go to battle?
Yep.
There it is. Oh, man. And I'll equip it. And then he can get up to 2 equip purple. I just got 1. Bantu, Azahel.
Mm-hmm.
Exchange to deck. Bantu. Stone carriers.
Mm-hmm.
And X going Bantu human. Yep, so you're good to block.
What are you negating with stone carriers there?
Oh, you negate neutral. I'll negate dull.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think I will decline to block. Yeah.
Okay.
Buckler and stuff too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which soul would you like?
Let's go good old humble.
Cool. Humble for a humble.
Yep. Cool. And let me get my hand down and then
Bump these guys up.
oh right, yeah. Yep. Oh whoops, I did a second time, whoops.
Persian conquerors.
And I will pass to you.
Alright. Draw 3. Got a Lawless. I'll go ahead and use that on myself. And this one. Ooh. Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Got some options here. Let's do gates.
Okay.
This messenger seems good too, but I always forget which order on the bottom these go. Like,
Oh.
is it here? I'm just gonna test it here. So let's see. I'm gonna reveal the bottom. It's gifts and offerings or the tabernacle. Okay, so it's okay.
Okay.
So gifts and offerings is on the bottom. Just seems like it's important to know when you're playing gates, you know.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so that's Lawless, then Upkeep, I've got an Evil Woes, which I think will just stick that on Abishai. Seems good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Orphans doesn't really matter. Just do it that way. Okay, and then let's put down gates. Let's think about what we want to do here. I'm gonna play Vain Philosophy. Let's see what you got going on in there.
Yep.
Alright, still got the doubt, and that's about it for evil. Let's get rid of Amazing Faith.
Okay.
And then, I guess that's okay if we do it that way. Yeah. Alright, let's activate Book. I will take Eternal Covenant from my reserve, and then I'll activate Eternal Covenant, and let's get a leader back first here, and then I will find my Covenant with Abraham. We'll go to reserve for Elijah, and then I would like to go to battle, if that's good with you.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Alright. Rebuking Emissary coming on in. Captive Priests coming in. We'll do one.
Yep.
Go to reserve for to protect lost souls. We'll reserve him, and we'll go to deck for Tabernacle Priest, which I think will just be Mr. Eli. And then Captive Priest number 2 is going to go to deck for Aaron, and then Captive Priest number 3 is going to go for, we'll just do Ahimelech, and Captive Priest number 4 is going to go to Amariah, yes. So we'll do, I guess that's a triggered, so I'll go last. So Eli will draw 2, and then Ahimelech take an OT play card from reserve. We'll take Grain Offering. Amariah does his thing. Aaron will not search. I'll ban to Zadok. He's going to activate Tabernacle Artifact from my artifact pile. We can find it here. Yeah, we'll activate Holy of Holies.
Yep.
And then you'll ban to a Green Prophet, which will be Elijah, who will choose Persian Conquerors to block. And then I get a trigger on Ahimelech to draw 1. Okay, that's all my things.
Are you good to go to battle res?
Yep.
Right. Which soul would you like?
Let's do Orphans.
Okay.
And bump those guys up. Back. Put down Angel of the Winds. Put down an Egyptian Rebel. And a Plunderers. Discard another Angel of the Winds. Guess I probably should have just left that guy, or that one in reserve. I guess I'll discard Grain Offering. And I will discard your Mask of Arrogance. And I'll pass turn.
Cool. Draw 3. No stars. Well for David. And go to battle if you're okay with that.
Yep. Oh, so it's, I guess, worth noting my Holy of Holies is CBN currently because I have a laser out.
Yep. Yep.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Yep. I will go. If I'm good to go, I'll go Armor Bearer to Stone Carriers. I'll draw 1 off the well.
Yep. Or what are you negating
Yes.
with Stone Carriers?
I'll do the dull again.
Okay. Alright. Guess I'll just do it this way. I will block with Blunderers and prevent them next, and I will Bounce. Nobody. No band.
I will. Okay.
Oh, actually, he's prevented anyway. Holy police. So, do nothing with him.
All right. I'll do the exchange with stone carriers.
Yep.
If you're all right. Go to reserve. To Caleb.
Yep. And the weapon would actually
You.
follow on stone carriers.
Oh, the weapon will fall. Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't
Yep.
have the Azahel clause.
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. Reserve that, and then Bandel Capitan.
Mm-hmm.
Draw two, or I guess it negates first. Or no, the draws first. Two, and I guess plunders is already negated. Let's negate shield.
Okay.
And I think that's probably your niche.
Okay. Let's do ambush. Take a thief from reserve, which will be that one. And then I think just ban to him. I'll take an enhancement from your hand.
Okay.
I will take. Let's do Persian horseman.
Okay. I'll discard spears, then negate and decrease.
Okay.
Thief.
Seems good. Okay. I will. Alright, so back to my initiative then.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna discard gates to add prince to battle, and I will. Think I will draw two. Disoriented. Disoriented will negate your shield.
Yep.
And then with Prince, I will. Let's see, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 brigades. One attack Caleb,
Yeah.
Armor Bearer, Well for David, and Abishai.
Yep.
Alright.
Good to go to battle rest.
Yep.
And I'll pass you.
Alright. Draw 3. Another Lawless. I will do that one myself. Let's take Den of Thieves. That's at the bottom. And then Upkeep Woes is evil, put that on the Thorns. And then let's see, that's not negated anymore. Let's put down Den of Thieves. We'll go ahead and put Plunders in there.
Yep.
And then I will, yeah, I guess I'll just leave Holy of Holies active, and I'll go to battle if that's good with you.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Alright, let's do that. I'll do the Rebuking Emissary, do the Captive Priest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm done. Rebuking Emissary is needed by Holy of Holies. So.
Oh, you can take it back.
Um,
I don't care. You can take it back.
Alright, I need a Solomon's Temple. I need one more artifact slot here.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll just push out Eli here.
Okay.
And draw two.
Good. Do the block.
Yep.
All right. So I'm negated. My initiative.
Nope. I'll play Angel Lord.
Yep. May I play dominant?
Yep. Good old doubt. Alright. So my initiative.
Yep. Your initiative.
Much as I don't really want to give you doubt back, I will play Burnt Offering to underdeck it, or at least attempt to.
Yep. Yep. That'll bottom of deck. All right.
So
Which soul?
play enhancement from my deck will be So we'll just take another one.
Alright, which soul would you like?
The underdeck made other burnt offerings somehow. Pretty sure I only have 2 in the deck, and I played one against Foreign Wives. Yeah, I must have underdecked burnt offering for some reason instead of. So let's put that one on my discard pile.
Okay.
And then I will take Sin Offering instead.
Yep. Sounds good.
And we'll do Distressed.
Okay.
And Levi back, down Temple Thieves, put down Simon, down a Dragon, and I will discard Gifts and Offerings and pass turn.
Yep. Let's draw 3. Got 1 star. I'll go to my deck. Grab Humble.
I guess now that my Sheol doesn't have Unity, then I won't do anything with that. Cool.
And then no lost soul abilities. I'm good to go to prep phase.
Yep.
Alright, let's go endless treasures. It's under deck to grab madness. I'll reserve to reserve rebuking.
Sure.
I can take a weapon. I'll get back Persian horsemen.
Seems good.
And let me get my hand down. Did not get a hero.
The Prince is working.
Yes.
Uh-oh, that's scary.
Yeah, I'll pass to you.
Alright. Got a humble. Wow. Okay. Upkeep. We got an evil woes. So we'll stay on thorns. Yeah. Alright. We found glory. So we'll go and play that. And we'll go find Solomon's Temple. Good if one of these priests protects from underdeck abilities. That would be handy. I think I want to keep Holy of Holies up, so we'll do that over there. And then I'm going to activate Book. We'll take Time Sustainer from my reserve, and then we'll activate Covenant with Abraham, get the Rebuking Emissary back out, and then I'll activate Time Sustainer on Book, and then I will, I think we'll just go to battle and hope that things pan out here.
Yeah, sounds good.
So let's try this again. Rebuking Emissary. It will be CVP because of I'm Sustainer. So we'll do Captive Priests. Let's go one of them for Ahitub. Or reserve him. Go to deck. Or no, let's withdraw and reserve abilities. Oh well. I guess we're going for Ahimaz. And then I guess I'll play a Lost Soul for my deck. We'll play Galleons, I guess. I'm not going to use the ability. Captive Priest. We'll go to. Oh, I guess that would work. Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's do Eli. We'll protect from stuff and take. Draw 2. And then Captive Priest will go to Amariah. And then the 4th one will go to Aaron, who will not take. We'll ban to Zadok, who will go to reserve for a pot of mana. And then he can't ban. So that is my rescue. Now I guess you get to draw 1 off of Ahimelech.
Let me check my reserve. Okay, just negates an enhancement. It's not gonna do me. Which soul would you like?
Let's do the Humble.
Yep.
And then I will put down Thief, discard a Purloin, and play Son of God on Thorns. And I will discard a Sin Offering, and we'll discard Prince, I guess. And I'll pass turn.
Yep. me put down. Good to go to battle.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Ezo, shields, exchange 2 deck. Let's go laser.
Yeah.
And that's my rescue.
Alright. I will block with Simon.
Okay.
My initiative.
Yeah, your initiative.
Play Hurling Insults to underdeck you, CBN.
Yep. I'll pass to you.
Alright. Got Star and Purloin. We'll take that Yomer. And I think we'll deactivate Pot of Mana. Let's just do Ark of the Covenant there, and then let's do Aaron's Staff over on Solomon's Temple, and I will go to battle if that's good with you.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, we'll do Rebuking, all the dudes, dude, Ahitab to reserve, and we'll add Ahimaz, and add Eli, we'll add Amariah, and Aaron will ban to Zadok, who will not activate, and will ban to Dutiful. Yeah, I guess I gotta draw 2 off of Eli. Should have done that first. But, yeah, I guess those will be all the abilities, or yeah, my attack.
Okay. Good to block.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to Thiever. Let's go to deck, I guess. Okay. Play Babel. Exit cards and territory for X turns. Not that necessarily matters, but
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good brigades.
okay. Let's go. Prince, Red Dragon, Condemned Thief, Egyptian Rebel, Simeon. Is it just 5 brigades?
6, I think.
Oh, 6. Okay. I guess the thief then.
Okay, set aside for 6 turns. Nice. Alright. Then are you banding?
I think I'd rather play no band.
Alright. Get a Dutiful Priest trigger.
Mhm.
So I can play an Offering Enhancement or discard an animal. I will play Grain Offering on Amariah and bounce up to 3 evil cards. So bounce Xerxes, Prince, and Simon. Cannot be negated, or cannot be interrupted, I guess. And then I'll draw 2 from Dutiful Priest.
Which soul would you like?
Let's do the Prosperity, I suppose. And we've got a good crowd's choice. We'll go to deck 4, Second Coming.
Sounds good, GG.
GG. And that, I feel like it was kind of that first couple of turns when I was able to get through, or get rid of, I guess really the first turn when I got those 2 dull triggers, and then was able to take out your Joshua and Armor Bearer.
Yeah, I think I need a second. I think I probably need a Joshua in reserve too, but
Oh,
I don't
sure.
know. I don't know if that. I don't know. I like it, but like, it's also like Prince is so prevalent too.
Yeah.
Being so spread on offense is kind of a bad idea on my end, maybe. I don't know. Um, I thought about too with the new David. Like he can't ban to the armor bearers, but he can snag the Joshua human warriors. Can't
Oh,
ban to
sure.
them, but he can snag them.
Yeah.
And then
They can
I don't know. I
ban
thought
the.
about I thought about throwing that clay priest too if I went that way. Just negate enhancements at the end of the band. I don't want to negate the weapons, but
Oh, right. Yeah.
that seems pretty decent.
Oh, yeah. And then let's see. So David can ban to Armor Bearer, right? Or no, he bans to Second Samuel. That's right. Yeah. But he can ban to Azahel.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, that's true.
Azahel can
Azrael can go.
exchange. I guess only with Decker Reserve, but if you have enough Armor Bearers, then you can reset them. Or
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think of a defense too that thorns and orphans didn't mess with. 'Cause I knew there were so many people playing like soul hide and stuff like that,
Yeah,
soul manipulation. I was like, I'll just go like all against that and then just play a defense that doesn't
doesn't really
get
care.
hurt by it.
Yeah,
But I'm sure there's plenty of other options though I could be doing there too.
yeah. I mean, I think the like I don't know that people are going to be doing too much soul hide in Type 2. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
like
probably
Prince
not.
will kind of be like naturally there, but I feel like more
He's gonna be
more often than not
yeah.
he'll just be underdecking other cards.
That's probably true.
But I mean, it's definitely good to have some like Builder's Spear in there, and even just running Orphans. I think is makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably plenty. I got Lord's Army in reserve too, so that's probably
Oh sure, yeah. I think yeah. So I'm curious, kind of what's their like ideal banding chain here, like
yeah.
Abishai
Yep.
and like armor bearers and that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah. So my ideal would be like did a laser get discarded, I think?
you got underdecked, I think.
Oh, under deck, okay. With
I
them being
suppose a
equipped,
laser kind
then
of gets you what you'd that Zadok kind of effect without having to reserve anything and still keeping your weapons working.
yeah, and then just going like armor bearer to Joshua to captain to Lord's Army.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm kind of like theoretically I got some weapons that are like protecting guys and maybe spears to negate a problematic character, and then hopefully negating their stuff, um, and then like stopping their evil doms. And I don't know. Maybe it's yeah. I don't know. It's probably not worth splitting up that much to go that route, but I figured I'd try it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the speed element that Joshua adds, or at least like getting captain in the band,
Mm-hmm.
negating
And then, and then
stuff.
I've got like three each of these for some like CBN, CBP, kind of get some searching going and drawing.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I had three Great White Thrones in there too to kind of get some characters for setting up, but
Mm,
I didn't hit any of those. But I don't know. A lot of the drawings on the defensive end in this
sure. Yeah. Yeah. The
for
masks
stuff.
and the boastings. Yeah.
I think I got like three or four of each of those, and then the plots, and then some the Breathed World ones for the
Sure.
differences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah. I'll send
wonder
you.
if like a couple of if like Expelled from Heaven was worth using.
Oh,
Like just because if you're playing against like a Prince defense or something, they'll just underdeck your gold and your purple guys, leave you with like Captain or Lord's
oh.
Army.
I like that a lot,
Under,
actually. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, yeah, that's a good idea.
um, you could also just like throw in a Benaya or something because he works well with those. And like, if you get to the point where if you're playing against a deck like this one that runs pot of mana, that can be helpful to
Yeah,
just have a solo attack option.
I should at least have Ben and I in my reserve with a snatch spear in there. I
Yeah,
should at least fit in there. The reserve was just kind of tight.
yeah,
Um, maybe I don't. I had a couple of these in there, but they to grab with horsemen too to kind of cycle those curses. But
oh
I don't know
sure,
how. I don't know if that's worth it or not. And
yeah,
I have Jehu there, but really David's my only. Well, David, I guess David, or I think I have like three as a health in the deck to cycle to get him too.
oh
But
sure. Or even Deceiver, get him on defense, use Brown, kind of, then like
hmm
bounce him or something with Joe Spat,
yeah, and then I got a bunch of like the stone carriers and officiators in there too to snag and equipped weapons, but
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I could probably scale those back too, but
Yeah.
I like that they're generic.
Right, yeah. Generic is nice. It'd be nice if they equipped any weapon, not just gold ones, but that'd probably be too good.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
um, yeah, I mean, I feel like they fit well. Like this, and it seems like an offense that once you get it set up, then it'd be hard to deal with, but it's just kind of getting it all out. It's kind of the tricky
Yeah,
part, especially
it's
while
just perfect.
not leaving them too vulnerable.
Yeah, the new David might be nice just to have like a good another turn one option to attack with before
Yeah,
you're set up.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and if I go that route, I think Joshua would probably get switched for the II Joshua then, because I wouldn't really. I don't know. The nice thing with him is David can ban to this red one, but
Oh
if I
yeah,
switch Davids, it probably makes sense to go with the new Joshua.
yeah. I don't know. The
And then that,
CBN is kind of nice, and then the red also lets you put like spears and shields and stuff on him, which is kind of
oh,
nice.
that's true. That's true. And my reserves are already pretty tight. I don't know if I could really fit much for enhancements to snag though. It'd be really worthwhile anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know if necessarily the new David would be a upgrade either. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to see.
yeah. I mean, especially with multiple copies of Azahel to get him on turn one, that seems pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, I think the trickier part will just be making sure that you have a weapon for him on turn one to be so that he can be equipped. But I mean,
Yeah, too bad Wall doesn't go to deck, but maybe that was too good.
yeah, I think it might have originally. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, yeah, it definitely got toned down. I think a little bit too far. I think in Type Two, I feel like it's not too bad, but Type One is just kind
Yeah.
of slow.
Sweet. Well, thanks, man.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for the game, and we'll catch you later. Sorry for all the
Yeah.
technical
Oh no,
difficulties, but
oh no, you're good, man. Hopefully see you at regional and state.
yeah.
So
All right,
hopefully,
sweet.
hopefully I can make it the way. All
Sounds
right, later,
good.
man.
Yep. Have a good one.
Yep, you too, man.